The Sun-Gazette is pleased to be joined by Republican nominee for Lycoming County Commissioner Scott Metzger today. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
What can county government do within the next 4 years to achieve property tax relief?
Well, that's a good question. It's a very important issue. Taxes continue to be the only revenue source really that the county has, besides grants and programming through the state and the federal government. Our taxes continue to increase on the school district side, at federal state level. We've been able to keep our taxes level on the county level for the past 4 years without any tax increases. We'll continue to work with our state legislators and express to them how important it is to have property tax relief. The seniors especially are being burdened by these taxes going up every year. They live on fixed incomes. It's a major issue. However, the county does not control property taxes. We have no say over what goes on with the property taxes. So that's an issue that we'll continue to work with the state legislators and emphasize to them that we have to come up with a package of maybe some property tax, maybe some sales tax, personal tax, maybe do a package statewide to get some of that tax relief.
Should property tax relief be targeted to homeowners or elderly homeowners, or should it be pursued more broadly for all residential, commercial, and industrial properties, and why?
I think it should be shared by everybody. Everybody shares the same services in county government. You know, if you call it for an ambulance, 911, whether it's a business, a home, everybody's sharing those taxes. I know in other states, for instance, down in Georgia, when you hit a certain age, the seniors are exempt from property taxes. There are different avenues we can go through a state measure to bring those taxes down. So I think everybody needs to share in that cost burden.
What is one program or service for which the county could cut spending, and what is one program or service on which the county should consider increasing spending?
Well, government doesn't have a revenue problem, it has a spending problem. And we tried to curtail some of those expenses and cut some of the spending going forward. Specifically, try to consolidate services. So you're not doing duplication of services. We were able to get out some of our leases. And for instance, we brought the joinder and mental health over now to the 3rd Street Plaza. That is going to save us that money that we were paying in a lease, which is $500 and some thousand, and then we can put some of that money on the building that we owe, and also the money that we save from that we can put on mental health services. How we can increase spending is the mental health services. They have not been increased on a state level since 2012. There's more mental health needs in the community. We have people that are sitting in our county prison with just mental health needs that shouldn't be there. So we need to increase the mental health spending to assist those individuals and people that are in those situations.
How can the county better assist municipal police services?
We have been very instrumental in helping the police forces. We've given them monies through Act 13 for equipment. And it's important going forward that we be pro-law enforcement, because if we don't have a society of laws and rules, we don't have a society of order. So it's important to have that order. We back the Blue. They go out every day to put their lives on the line for us, to protect us. It's important that we hear what their needs are. A lot of these are small communities, townships, that can't afford just the basic needs. Right now, we've put some of the ARPA monies into public safety. One that would be a radio system, which is real time for the entire county, so that if someone's stopped in Williamsport, Muncie knows what's going on, and they know what's in real time. They don't have to wait till make a phone call later to follow up on somebody they might have had contact, and it could possibly save someone's life, because that person could possibly maybe be stopped later. A later date, they didn't know about the person's background. And so by having that real-time radio system and information database is critical. We're paying through the ARPA funds for the foundation of that, and then each township and municipality will pick up the yearly cost of that. That's just one way. There are some police departments that are regionalizing, and we've talked to them about that, where they can do that, where it's appropriate, where the people in the communities want that. It's important that the people in the community in those areas are serviced the way they want to be serviced, because that's where they live.
What improvements or changes to the county's criminal justice system, whether it be in the courts, prosecutors, supervisory services, should the commissioners recommend?
Well, we work very closely with the courts. They're a co-equal branch of government, and we constantly talk to them about cost savings, how they can help save money. They are very good at that, in the sense that if they see something where they can help save money, they try to. I think one thing we're going to be talking to them in the future about is the jury system. Right now, over half the residents of Lycoming County are called for jury duty yearly. And even though jury duty is a duty that's necessary because of the criminal justice system operating on a fluid measure, it's important that we have a better streamlined system. And we talked to them a little bit about that. Also, the postage to mail out to half the residents in the county is expensive. That's important also. PFAs are another issue we talked about recently. We're going to approach somewhere between 600 and 900 PFAs by the end of this year. And our sheriffs are serving these papers at night, which is very dangerous to them and the community. When somebody shows up at their house, they don't know what they're there for. And so I think we're approaching maybe number one in the state for PFAs. PFAs are an absolute necessary measure in today's society. It protects the victim. There's no place in this world for domestic violence. When I was in my old role, my employment with the county, I worked with assault cases. It's very important to protect those victims. But there are people that abuse the system, and those people need to be held accountable by the courts. So we're going to talk to the courts about holding those people that are abusing the system, holding them accountable, and making sure that the system, the way it's supposed to work for PFA victims, works 100%.
How can the commissioners encourage job creation?
Commissioner's role in job creation is infrastructure, whether that's through the water and sewer, which we've allocated $7 million of our $22 million for water and sewer on projects that, for instance, in Jersey Shore, they had an 108-year-old water system, and they were still using wood filters. If they have a house fire up there, the water pressure in the hospital goes down. So by helping upgrade communities with their systems, that brings in industry, it brings in more businesses. If you don't have water and sewer, you don't have a community to start with. So it's important to bring that infrastructure in. Also broadband, we're working on that with a 4-county regional approach to bring additional broadband into the area. Lastly is housing. Housing is a critical problem, not just nationwide, but in Lycoming County. Attainable housing, affordable housing. When we met with our constituents throughout the county on the ARPA funds, we met with the city first, and we met with the township officials, the borough officials. Then we went to the different parts of the county, the realtors, the developers, early childhood. And we met with every entity before we decided how to vote those monies out. Agriculture. When we sat down with the developers and the realtors, we found out that normally what's in the market in Lycoming County is about 750 houses. At one point it was down to about 150 in that ballpark. So it's important that we have attainable houses because we have people relocating to this community. For instance, we talked to the CEO at the Williamsport Hospital. They have people coming in from out of the area that are moving into here for work there. They're moving to Union County. They're moving to Clinton County to find those houses. So it's important that we have housing that's attainable in this county that can meet those needs. That's another part of the infrastructure. So the Commissioner's role is to really get that infrastructure in place, work with those individuals to get that infrastructure in place, and then the jobs will come.
Could you comment a little bit further on how the commissioners can encourage the construction of new housing?
We have adopted the Housing Initiative Program. We took $2 million last year and $2 million this year of the Act 13 monies, and we started the Housing Initiative Program. Any developer who wants to apply for those monies would apply through planning, bring the plans to them, they would review them, and then bring them to the commissioners. We're right now looking at 3 different projects. We bring about 185 homes to Lycoming County, newly constructed homes throughout different regions of the county. So what we do is we don't pay for the development, we pay for the infrastructure to get into the development. Because developers have come to us and said, we can't afford to do both. We can't afford to do the infrastructure and the construction with the price of materials going up to the extreme they have. There's no room for profit. So if you can bring it to the curb, get it to the curb, we can finish it, and then we can get the job done. So with the Housing Initiative Program, which is now $4 million, we feel that we've provided that infrastructure to the developers to help bring new housing to Lycoming County.
What is the most important attribute or characteristic of a county commissioner?
I believe honesty and integrity. Those things are very important. When you give somebody your word, you follow through with it. You make a commitment to your community that you're going to be there, that you're there. You do things 100%, sometimes 150% if need be, but you work as a team. Okay, commissioners, we're a board of commissioners. We're not individuals. We think independently, but we come to a common goal by thinking independently. And we reach that. And there's times when we have disagreement, that's fine. But that's good because then you get different ideas. So it's important that we work together as a body, not only the 3 commissioners, and it's also important to work together as a team in the county. And we've done that over the last 4 years. We've accomplished a great deal over the last 4 years in many decisions we've done. So I would say honesty and integrity and following through with your commitments to people.
Are there any issues or priorities we haven't touched on yet that you would like to?
Yes, I believe 2 of the most important issues facing Lycoming County in the next 4 years is the levy system, getting that recertified. I'll be going back down to Washington in the second week of December to meet with the federal legislators about getting that job done. We've been working with the city, the South Williamsport, Sock, and FEMA, PEMA, the congressmen, in order to get that levy done. That's about $4.5 billion worth of industry. That is 87% of our economic activity. That provides 80% of the taxing revenue through all the taxing bodies. So it's important that we have the levy recertified and completed. The other one is the airport. The airport is a project that the county commissioners are ultimately financially responsible for. We have not provided the funds that have been rumored for the last 4 years. They've been living off the COVID monies, getting that through. Actually, when we've provided the money for the tower that we provide each year, they've actually returned that money back to the county. We have actually pledged $1 million, which has not been utilized, and the chamber has pledged about $900,000 that has not been utilized as a carrot to bring a carrier here. If need be, we could subsidize that carrier until maybe the EAS comes back, which is the Essential Air Service. The authority has been working diligently to try to bring air service here. We've been informed it's kind of a perfect storm. There's a shortage of pilots. They're actually offering pilots enormous salaries to come out of retirement, huge signing bonuses until the younger pilots are trained. There's problems getting parts. Boeing's having a hard time getting parts. Those are some of the issues that are going on a national level. The fuel prices is another factor that's driving it, where they're putting more people on the larger planes because of cost reductions and what they have to do in order for them to survive. The big 3 used to subsidize the smaller airplanes. They don't want anything to do with them right now. They're trying to survive on their own as the big 3, and that's just, why they're putting more people on the larger planes out of the bigger airports. We've listened to people in a business community that are taking anywhere from 2 to 3 days to do their normal job, where it would take 1 day if we would have airline service in and out. That's on the commercial side. The airport is on the charter side, we have about 400 flights out of there, so they're doing very well on the private side. It's the commercial side, bringing a carrier in is the main issue. So that's a very important thing that we have to solve and bring back to Lycoming County. The last thing is the workforce, getting more people into the community to fill the jobs. We have jobs here. We've created some jobs. We brought Digger Specialties Incorporated to the property across from the landfill. And he came here from the state of Indiana because he loved the people in this area, he loved the workforce. So we need to bring more people to the area for the workforce. And that comes down to basically trying to keep some of the younger people here at the same time through the colleges, at the same time bringing people back home. And we heard that through COVID, that a lot of people want to come back home because they miss their families. They want to retire here or they want to raise their children here. So we'll continue to pursue those avenues through the different chambers, Jersey Shore, McTorsville, Lycoming County Chamber, and work together as a team to accomplish those goals.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.